Think about all the things that straddle the online world and the real world, whether it's contactless payments, curbside pickup. I think it's funny here because it's Google. They say for which last spring we saw searches grow globally of contactless payments and curbside pickup 3,000% year over year. I'm like, okay, but they didn't exist before. Like, yes, I get it, but were they even really part of?
That's a stat you might want to think about. Yeah.
3,000%. I was just, okay.
It went from nothing to something.
Anyways, I was just sort of like, oh, it was even a thing. Or AR, right? Augmented reality enabled experiences like envisioning the dresser in your room or the lipstick on your skin type. Oh, I bet you love that one, Lindsay. Our extended time constrained at home has opened our eyes to the very real value of this new hybrid space. Hybrid. Some observers are referring to it as, and then I went on I'm just going to say it. They refer to it as digital retail. I hate that word.
Doesn't that make you itchy?
It does. I was going to say
itchy.
It's
word.
1 centimeter away from genital. That's all I'm.
Oh, I thought it was just like.
Well, I guess I just localized the itch.
400 cups of coffee, and you're like trying to sit still.
No, to me, it's. I don't know what it is, but it's phygital retail, and I remember a long time ago when there was a company, quite successful company, I think they were Toronto-based, tried to launch it as sort of their whole word. I think they tried to trademark it. Phygital. P-H-Y-G-I-T-A-L. And maybe I just have that bad taste in my mouth. Let's move away from the metaphor at this point. But anyways, it is a thing. It is resurging. I just hate the word. I really hope it doesn't take off. It's like blurring of the lines between physical retail and digital retail. It's like blurring the lines? Like, we are so past blurring the lines. Are we not?
I mean, I think we are. Like, we've talked about blurring the lines for more than 10 years. The only thing for me with this is that people have never had to, like, brands have never had to actually make a change, and people have never actually had to purchase their groceries online. So it was like, we may be over blurring the lines, but I think we are just catching up now with all of this. So
no, that's
I think
really fair.
it is a very real thing that's going on right now.
And I think if that's what we have to go back to for the people who still believe, I guess it was my issue, was like, it's calling out e-commerce versus retail in store. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? The world still sees it that way. The struggle we were having before COVID was, I still had a lot of clients who weren't threatened by digital because e-commerce was only accounting for 6% of overall sales. And I'm like, really? Like, is that what you think? And then they started to realize, no, it's the attribution to digital is beyond just buying online.
Right.
But yeah, okay, good point. We need to blur those lines. I'm going back and getting my smudge tool. I'm blurring the line right now. I'm being all phygital and all.
Yeah, the one thing I would say about this one, I don't need to know that we need to go into this one much further because it is very obvious and people get it. It's that for, like they said, we've been doing this for a year now. But it's not too late. So I know a lot of brands, for instance, may be like, we weren't great at e-commerce. We weren't great at digital, like facilitating digital purchase and things like that 6 months ago. We didn't actually, make a lot of big changes during COVID because we couldn't. There were other reasons and financial and et cetera, that because this trend isn't going anywhere, you have time to still ramp up and do this. So you need to be able to figure out the best way to help people purchase your products and have a superior experience through online channels. And even though you may not have done that in the last year, you may think that you're behind the 8 ball. You're not. It's still time to get going because this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, it's true. And I think the closing is a great sort of summary that kind of stands on the shoulders of what you just said. But so whether you're a financial institution, a grocery store, quick serve restaurant, or yes, an online only retailer or a small business, I had to stick that in there. The circumstances of the past year have offered a valuable nudge. Lindsay? A valuable nudge to reimagine digital possibilities and commit to the ever-rising bar for how to be helpful to people. So the idea is whatever you choose to do and however you choose to be part of that shopper journey, your goal should be not about being in their face where they are, but being helpful wherever they find you.
Right.
And that's key.
Yeah. And I would even just say, it's not like a nudge down the sidewalk. They're nudging you over a cliff. Like, you have to do this. And like, it's a friendly nudge. It is.
Valuable nudge.
But it's...
So they don't say it's friendly. You're right. It's
Okay, sorry. Valuable. Yeah,
Yeah,
nudge
you're good.
seems a tad light, but I love it. Yes, we've been nudged.